Hey everyone, stick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications for when we go live, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links are below in the description to our Discord and our options trading group on Facebook. If you're here right now, say what up. We have S&P's down 82, Dow's down 722, NASDAQ down 200. Gonna be interesting for sure. We got Eric, Mason, Renji, Foz. How we doing? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube Live, but it's like not showing up in my in like feeds and stuff like that. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But we're just getting going here. It looks like the S&Ps want to kind of retest the lows here. I mean, are we gonna limit down or what? What's going on, Dustin? Limit down? We're already at 3% down. So 5% on futures before open here, but I don't see us. The one thing that I'm looking at here is if you look at this, look at how slow it's going. You know, it's like it's going so slow, so controlled. And they can pop it up at any time. Like we saw yesterday, like look at yesterday's close. Yesterday we were moving real slow. And then they just popped it up. They just popped it up out of nowhere. You know, they popped it up. And I know these bars aren't doing it justice because of the wide swings we've been having, but this is almost a 60-point swing right here on one candle. Yo, Colin, what's going on? Slick, how we doing? We're just getting going, just getting the blood flowing here today, you know? What's going on, Jeff? I just burned myself. Anyways, that was freaking hot. But yeah, I see that it's fading here, and it does look like we're this is gonna fail here because we're under like the 25-50 area. However, I mean, why is it going so slow? It's troublesome to me. That's like not like breaking, that we're just declining like this, and it's not breaking. Which means like if you can see back here when we were fading down here, they could rip it up instantly. You know, what's going on, Carmine, Danny, Sarath, Lion? Good morning. How we doing? If you guys could do me a favor, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Just getting, man. Boeing did get some upgrades today, so going into some of my positions here, I did go long Boeing again. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I have next week expiration. I have the 200 call. I was seeing what's going to happen today with the house, so that's pretty much my only position. Other than that, like I'm short TLT for next week, which probably is not going to be working out if the market's heading the way that it's heading. TLT here. You know, but TLT is giving me some hope because it's back at 165. It's just chilling. Like it's just like if you look at TLT, it's either gonna pop up hard or it's gonna get rejected. So it's back at the moment of truth. I don't know which way it's gonna go, but it could. You know, you could definitely see that the volume is drying up down in here as well. So that's why I'm kind of going on the short side for TLT right now. But I'm playing it slow. And then I am Boeing. You know, Boeing is wild though. So I bought Boeing when it was around like the 180 mark. It's now down 173. So my deltas, I was delta, what it was at, like 30 delta. So I'm gonna be down probably like $200 at open on Boeing. But we'll see what happens with Boeing. You know, $200 is not that bad. I'll hang on. You know, it's been known to rip down, rip up. So I think that you know my opinion on Boeing is I think it's the market's like one sure bet that's going to make it through. You know, I think that the market is it's the one sure bet that's going to be making it through. This is why it's popped up in a week. It's popped up 100%. You know, and that's why this is why the bulls like typically win, because yes, it could pull back 50 to a 75%. It could pull back, but it could easily make back 100% in gain. So you can only lose, let's say, 50%, but you can make back 100. So that's why the technically the bulls are richer than the bears, and they say that's why Warren Buffett said there's no bears in the Forbes 100 list. Not saying there's a time to be bearish, time to be bullish, but I'm just saying that's kind of what the word on the street is for bears. Bears have a bad rap. Plus, I mean, nobody really likes the bears anyways, because they all like doom and gloom, bring down the economy type deal too. So, I mean, no one likes that either. But if you're bearish, you're bearish. Like, I'm typically bullish, but I honestly don't see a way. I don't see a way out of this being bullish in the short term. The U.S. just surpassed China in the number of coronavirus cases, which I kind of find hard to believe since they were battling it since last winter, since like November, December. I don't know, guys. I mean, is that am I off here, or does it sound a little fishy to me that in the beginning of March we had like 100 cases here, and now at the end of March we've surpassed China in the amount of coronavirus cases here? I don't know. And I think the number of deaths are off too, because in Italy it's like 10% death rate. In Iran it's like 7%. It's kind of crazy. Yo, Carmine, you cannot buy options pre-market unless you're trading futures, options on futures. Are you posting your trades every day once you buy it? I was, but I stopped doing that because I post my completed trades. And the reason why I've been posting my completed trades is because the trades that I do may not be best for your portfolio. I show all my profits and all my losses in Discord, and when I highlight them, when I highlight my orders here, you can see all the orders here. There's no orders today, but if you look through, there's orders. I stopped posting when I entered, mainly because the trades that I commit, I don't think that everybody can partake in, based on account size and risk. And a lot of people were just following my trades blind and not really trading, and that's not really what this is about. I'll post my trades for accountability reasons, whether I make money or lose money, but copying my trades, we have discussion in Discord, and I say what I'm going to do and stuff like that, but you have to do your own analysis, and my trades that I do may not be best for your portfolio. It may be way too much size. I may be putting on a new position to offset a loss that I already have, so when it comes to trading, yes, I do post my trades, but I don't post them exactly when I do them, just so everyone doesn't kind of follow me in. And I trade based on my portfolio. I don't trade based on your portfolio. So yes, I've been making money. Yes, if you copy my trades, you probably make money, but what are you getting out of it? Like, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, do you know how to trade? No. Stick around, you'll learn how to trade. But like, that's why I don't like trade alerts and those types of services, because you don't learn anything. You just copy someone's entry and exit. I mean, it's like a video game. It makes no sense. And at the end of the day, like 20 years from now, when that guy's out of business, you're still not going to know how to trade. So what's the point? The goal here is for you to feed yourself. You're not a baby. Feed yourself. Sorry, guys, went off a little bit. That's been pent up for a few days. It's all about generational living. There's a direct connection between families of multiple generations living together, China, New York, and Italy. Look at the rates of children living with their parents in Italy. It will shock you. Yeah, Colin, no free handouts. Do your own diligence. Do you think we're going to retest 2,500? Lion, looks like we're going to retest 2,500 right now. Looks like it's on deck. Apple, is it under 250 yet? Apple under 250, I want to get short. Popped up here. I want to get short under 250 here where this resistance is on Apple. Yo, Ramsey. Robert's ready to learn. If you're here right now, say what up. Do me a favor, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I want people to be self-sufficient at this trading game. Like, it's not going to be any benefit to you if you just copy someone other quote unquote guru or whatever. Like, those services are dumb. They should be shut down by the SEC and people. Like, Trade Alert should be shut down. It's a scam. Hey, bro, I don't know if you went off prepping for the crash. I wasn't there. Chris, I did not yet. I just kind of talked about price action. Yo, what's going on, Micah? J-Cam. So Apple, I'm looking to get short under 250. It's right now, obviously above it, but under 250, I'd like to get short Apple again for me personally. Currently I'm long Boeing, which I'm going to be down on at open. So I'm going to have to try to play a little defense here, depending on the price action. I'm a little bit concerned that the rate that we're going down is very, very slow, and that any volume can really push this up. As you can see here yesterday, look at the volume down here. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but very low volume pre-market, and then as soon as volume kicked in, we just pushed right up. Even end of day, low volume midday, and the end of day, some volume kicked in and we pushed up hard. So I'm watching that volume right now, because once that volume kicks in, it's like game over for the Bears right now. There's not really much news on the street right now other than, Boris Johnson got the coronas, which is unfortunate. Epstein's best friend. And the House is expected to vote on the stimulus bill, and everything's all good. Like I said in my video last night, there is one representative, Thomas Macy, saying that he's a libertarian lawmaker. He's concerned about voting without the quorum present, and it would violate the Constitution, and blah blah blah. So I don't know if it's going to be a problem or not. They're saying it's going to pass, but I don't know. They said that in the Senate. Hopefully it does pass, because the Senate's on break for a month because it was too much for them. So Chris, what was your question? You asked me a question on Facebook. It's hard for me to pull it up here. Let me see if you got it again. So Christopher, hold on, let me try to get this. Chris asked a question on Facebook he wanted me to cover in today's live stream, so I'm trying to pull it up here. Oh, so how can I maximize? The question is, how can I maximize my puts on this? I'm in the feed each morning. If you want to address it then, do you usually mostly naked calls or puts or spreads, getting the most laid out? So here's the thing. For my portfolio, Chris, I don't know what your portfolio is looking like, but for my portfolio right now, I'm mostly trading naked calls and naked puts. Credit spreads. Right now, we had a little bit of IV crush, so I'm not looking to get into any credit spreads, mainly because if we have volatility hike up, we're going to start losing money on that spreads or be break even. What's the point in tying up capital and putting on the trade on if you're going to be break even, or start losing money if we start having an IV expansion, right? So debit spreads, I think debit spreads will probably be in your best bet if you're have a smaller account. Now, if you're trading with account more than $5,000, $10,000 right now, for me, I like to do just naked calls and puts, and then if I'm wrong, I can place some new day trades and recoup my losses and offset what I'm doing. So like Boeing today, and same thing like on Tuesday and Monday. I've been kind of struggling this whole week with the whole Senate bill and politics and everything like that. So Monday, I had a $600 loss, came back into $130 good to the good. Last couple of days, I made $1,500 or like $2,000 last 2 days. Tuesday I was down $1,500, so I've clawed back, played defense, but you can't buy a naked call or put for $1,000 when you have $1,000 account, because you have no way to get back to even if you're wrong. This is the stock market. You're going to be wrong. You're not going to be right every time. We've been very fortunate to have a lot of great trades in this. But as you can see, like this week, things went a little crazy with the Senate, and things kind of went up. Things are going down now, and we're, I feel like a little bit of behind the curve instead of in front of the curve. So, it takes some time to readjust when the market shifts like that. We did a very extreme pivot in the market. Some people that I know were on the green days kept buying puts, but you want to be careful about that because you don't want to run out of money. It depends on how much money that you have. So, you want to, when it comes to setting up your trade, let's say for SPY, for example, you want to have targets where you want to get long and where you want to get short. And you can see down here, and we've mentioned it before, there's some pretty good support down here in the 220, 215 area, and it pivoted right at like 217. And that was kind of a sign to, okay, it was time to get a little bit long here. We had extreme selling, which I don't think is unwarranted by any means, but in a bear market, you're not gonna go straight down. If we look at the charts from 2008, let me see if I can pull it up here. 2008, 2009. Let me see if we can get it here. And charts are your best friend. Like it doesn't matter. We gotta go back more than 10 years. It doesn't matter what I say or anything, but go back in history. All this is recorded. So if you go back in history, you can see what the market did and how did it adjust. So let's zoom in here, okay? Let's just zoom in, okay? So we had some in 2008, we had some selling before an ultimate extreme selling, which we went from 130 to 80, essentially. And, these are not big numbers right now, the 130, but you can see that the percentages back in 2008 were humongous. But this is where traders were getting messed up. If we zoom in, let's just zoom in kind of where we're at now. Let's say the choppiness, sure, we're going down, but yeah, look at this choppiness. We go down 2 days, up 2 days, down a couple days, up 3 days. And the choppiness is what's gonna kill you. So you want to have some sort of bias. You want to have an understanding of where the market is heading and have set good price targets. So when it comes up to resistance, like if this pushed up, to like this candle pushed back up to 125. And I think the scariest thing for new traders is to layer in puts or layer in calls when the market is doing the opposite. But that is how you make the most money. Like, if we're going up and it's going up towards resistance, for me, it's worth a try to try some puts out, test it out. It might work, it may not work, and set realistic stop losses. You don't want to just like gamble your money in a way and say, oh well, I tried, my account's blown up. You want to be realistic. You want to be realistic with your entries. You want to be realistic with your exits and take your profits and just keep redeploying the capital. So for like my strategy, I don't like. There's a lot of people that like buy long-term puts, and you could do that. You could buy long-term puts, and as we go up, you can average down. I typically just don't like to average down. I usually only average down one time before trying to place a new trade to offset my losses. Now, if let's say I bought a SPY put that expired in April, and the market started going against me, I would start trading some other tickers. If I still believe that SPY was going to hit that by April, I would just leave it alone, and I would trade some other tickers like Boeing today. Boeing, I think, is going to go up to 200, 210 area, but may not today. So to recoup those losses, I'll switch over to SPY and Apple and trade my way and just kind of keep it flowing. And I'll hold on. Since it doesn't expire today, I'll just keep it rolling, and just got to keep it rolling. But that's kind of how I hope I answered. It's not really a simple answer on how to maximize your gains. You just have to, for your puts, you just have to have good entries and good exits, and keep redeploying your capital. What's going on? Jeff Green, Chris Blue. Is the market going down more today? I mean, it looks like it's going down. Like it might retest 2450, but I'm concerned. It's going so slow. Daniel, ain't no fear of me. Let the lessons begin. Bro, I'm gonna hold my puts for GameStop. So GameStop said that the coronavirus helped them, and their chart's trash. I mean, like GameStop was going out of business before all this happened, and they go up. Well, people, if you're trading earnings like right now, just keep in mind this is last quarter's earnings, not like today. Not like earnings are not what's happening like right now. So yeah, I mean, I think that GameStop's gonna probably go out of business. If we're in a long term like bear market, it's gonna go down. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it's kind of funny. This was kind of funny. So Wall Street Journal announced yesterday. This is probably what I read today. A new bull market has begun. The Dow has rallied more than 20% since hitting a low of 3 days ago, ending the shortest bear market ever. What do you guys think about that? Also, I don't know if you guys saw this, but this was pretty crazy. People were saying, so Bill Ackman, he turned 25 or 26 million into 2.6 billion, and on the crash, hedging his bets and whatever the case is. And they were saying his call on CNBC last week when he was crying about Hyatt and he was a major shareholder and all this stuff, and he was crying saying America as we know it's going to end. They were saying he was using his screen time to generate money for him, essentially. So he issued a statement here to his actual investors saying, this is what's happened. I'm not going to read the whole thing, explaining what's going to. He even put his tweets in here into this press release to his investors. I mean, this is just like crazy. So if you have the time, read through it. It was crazy. It was crazy. So Billy's in a little hot water right now. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? 1, he was lying in the chat. 2, he told the truth. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? You think he'd try to scam us? You think he'd try to scam retail investors on that call? I don't know. I mean, I think, yeah, Trevor truthfully lying. I think that he was being honest, and I think at last week, I think things have calmed down, especially for me personally. But last week and the week before that, when we were hitting halts every day, I mean, you're kind of thinking like, hey, is this it? And no, we didn't hit like the level 3 halt, the 20% down halt. But you're kind of thinking to yourself, is this it? Is the stock market, are we going into a depression? Is this it? I don't have to talk to my grandma anymore about the Great Depression. We're going to find out for ourselves. And, they're probably thinking like, man, I thought I was done with this. It's just crazy. So, man, but Boeing and Tesla got some upgrades this morning. So Tesla got some upgrades. What was the upgrade? It was like up to 800. Yeah, Tesla upgrade to 800. So if you're trading Tesla right now, it does look like it's kind of leveling out here around 500. So be careful shorting. Yesterday was insane where we had a rip up pre-market, but it pretty much just faded all day long. Pretty solid. I haven't been trading Tesla. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I have the stomach for that. Anyone here trade Tesla, and do you like to trade it? Or, I mean, I used to trade Tesla when it was in the 300s, but ever since Tesla ripped up just for no reason at all to 968, I really stayed away from it because, the amount of manipulation, I don't like to trade manipulation, and this is what manipulation looks like. And I don't like to trade that because you can easily get scammed, what they were, We just surpassed China. The number of cases can't be the end. Agreed. If that is China, if China's telling the truth, right? I was wondering a few points still could just trade carefully. Your Disney Iron Condor is looking tasty this morning, Daniel. Tesla's great short selling. I mean, so Tesla, I mean, I've always been, so, full disclosure, I bought Tesla shares in 2015. I ran them up to 300 and I sold them for 100% gain on my Tesla shares. And, holding shares in Tesla made me realize a couple things and I've said this before many times, especially when it was down here. This is like in the hundreds, 176 and stuff like that. This is like down in the hundreds, and it ripped from 100 up to 1,000 almost, right? I am not going to bet the farm against Elon Musk. I might short it like short term, but a lot of people have learned very dirty lessons shorting Elon Musk, and I know their financials are a mess. Their debt is a mess. They don't make any money, but for some reason, Elon Musk has a way of doing things that just pulls it out. Like, he can make it through. And anybody, any CEO that is sleeping on the warehouse ground and couch in his office and doesn't go home, I would be afraid of that CEO, because he is a warrior. He's gonna do whatever it takes to rise up. He's gonna push through whatever pain it's gonna be. Now, Tim Cook, on the other hand, maybe, you might want to think twice. You're like, I don't know if Tim Cook's going to pull that many hours. I mean, maybe he will. Tim Cook works a lot of hours, but if things go bad, is he going to be sleeping on the warehouse floor? Is he going to be trying to get things back into production? I don't know. Bob Iger from Disney, he said, I'm going to GTFO before this thing gets bad. I'm out of here, bro. Screw that. So that's, for me, you don't short, you don't bet. Now, I do agree that this is like way overextended in manipulation, and probably Elon himself was surprised at what happened here in this squeeze and this pop, and Elon probably couldn't even predict this. I mean, this was market manipulation at its finest here, But if you're shorting Elon over the next 10 years, like long term, I don't think it's going to work out. Like, sure, he saw some lows. There was people stealing IP. There were fires in the factories, China issues. I mean, it was a mess, but he pushes through. He's made it this far. So, if you guys can do me the favor, hit the like button. We're gonna open here in just a couple minutes. Oh yes, I remember that. Turned a $30 contract over 300. Tesla just had to confirm their cases in the main factory. Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget. It was like, I think it was, what was it, 2018. I was holding like $300 in Tesla calls. I was holding like $300 worth of Tesla calls, and then all of a sudden, they changed their earnings. They changed their earnings to the week that I was holding. They were supposed to be the following week. I was trading the run up into earnings, and Tesla changed their earnings to the week that I was holding. And implied volatility shot through the roof. My $300 worth of calls, I sold them for worth of $5,000. If I would have held on to them all day, which I wasn't, they would have been worth $40,000 at the end of the day. But I went from $300 to a $5,000 profit, and if I held all the way to the end of the day, they would have been worth $40,000, and I just didn't. That was one of those times with Tesla. Like, I have one of those good memories just trading Tesla, and Eric, you're Brazilian, making money consistently trading options in Brazil. So crazy, seems easier than here. But I live in Orlando. And stay safe in Florida, Eric. I see those numbers popping up. You got to shut down those spring breakers, man. Got to shut them down. They're crazy. They don't care if they get the coronas and kill 95-year-old people. One thing in Florida that doesn't mix: young people with coronavirus and old people. There's a lot of old people and there's a lot of partiers. So, that's not good. That is not good for Florida. Florida, that's probably why the numbers are ticking up so high, is because people are partying and there's a lot of old people, Couldn't handle the giant changes in price there at the end, had to get out. Yeah. Man, look at this Amazon spike right now, went from 1920, 1934. So, okay, market's opening up here. I'm going to be down on my position on Boeing. Miss Disney and Universal. Okay, yeah, like I said, I'm going to be down about 200. I'm currently down. I was down 245. Now I'm down 415 on this Boeing contract. So I have time on this Boeing contract. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. Just play it slow. And yeah, TLT popped up again. TLT is just not breaking down. It just doesn't want to break down with this market right now, which is probably troublesome for the stock market. So TLT, wow, Amazon's ripping pretty hard. TLT, the longer it stays up here, the more likely it is to pop up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I may cut her down today. We'll see what happens. But looks like the market's trying to fight a little bit. We have SPY down 7, almost 3%, kind of pushing up a little bit. S&P's pushing up a little bit. Not a lot of strength yet, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're trying to push up. If we're looking at the S&Ps, we're still in this downtrend here. I mean, I do think that we could probably touch 2450 if this downtrend stays intact. I don't know. Doesn't seem to be happening very, very fast right now. Seems to be very slow. That's the other thing about yesterday. Yesterday was slow. I mean, other than the rip up, the rest of the day was relatively slow, and we were just kind of chilling all day. Boeing's down. So yeah, I'm down 400 on Boeing, but we'll see what happens around here on the 165. I still like Boeing for next week, so I'm not gonna do anything crazy right now. I'm just gonna take the pain and trade my way out of it. So we'll see what happens here. Any stocks you guys want to look at here that I haven't covered right now? Let's see what Disney's doing. So Disney's back under 100, and that was pretty strong yesterday. Oh no, another stock yesterday, Home Depot. Look at this. This was incredible with Home Depot yesterday. Home Depot pushed up to 198 and faded $12. So I didn't trade Home Depot, but I wish I did. This was a really, really nice price action on Home Depot yesterday. So I definitely wish I traded that. AMD. I haven't looked at AMD for a while. I know MU and stuff had good earnings, so outlook for AMD is probably looking pretty good. I think the tech sector is probably going to be all right, like AMD, like Amazon Web Services. Anything that runs cloud computing is probably going to be strong in this quote unquote recession, depression, whatever we want to call it right now. So I think that cloud computing in AMD, I think those stocks are going to be strong because of the reliance of how much we're relying on now on AI and remote access. So I think that AMD, any of these stocks like AMD, Intel, let's see, INTC, let's see what Intel's doing. Yeah, Intel, any chip stocks I think are going to be okay. Personally, I think I'm not going to call them a safe haven. They could still get ripped a new one. But I think that their revenues will probably be strong due to the demand for technology right now. Now, I could be totally wrong. This is my personal opinion, not investment advice. But that's the way that I see it. If the more we rely on the technologies, the more demand. There's been a big push. I mean, so I also own an IT company, and I'll tell you something. All laptops, all webcams, everything is sold out. Everyone has gone remote access. And any technology that is built on, that remote access is built upon, such as AMD chips, Micron, MU, those kind of stocks, I mean, they're going to be in demand. They're going to be in demand because like Amazon Web Services is probably expanding. Azure, Microsoft Azure is probably expanding during this whole thing to take on the heavier load with Microsoft Teams, Office 365, that whole thing. So, the more they take that on, the more computers they add, the more chips they add, and it's the supply chain. So it's a trickle down. You own an IT company, come buy a stock? No. So it's if you figure out how that works, then that's probably why AMD is not getting crushed right now. I mean, they got pretty hurt. 60 down to 40, but that's not that bad. Bounce back at 40. I don't know if it's going to make a run at all-time highs or not, but I think we need some numbers. But that's what I see in terms of like the chip stocks like this. MU. Let's see what MU is doing as well. MU popped up a little bit on earnings and is kind of holding. LRCX is another one. Lamb's popping up as well this week. So any of these types of stocks, you're gonna want to. They did get crushed. They went in with the overall market, but I think once they publish some numbers out, it's gonna be a little different here. So right now I'm just chilling. SPG is coming up on some money here. Let's see here. SPG got some money back today, so that's kind of chilling. That's the only green one. I am short Home Depot, but that one's not coming through yet. I do have a lot of time on that. I have 21 days for that to come back down. SPG, I do have 49 days right now, 50 days. TLT I have next week, and Boeing I have next week. So I have today my goal is to get back the $600, see how it goes, but it looks like they're trying to rip the market up now. Still in a downtrend here, so it needs to break 25.75 for this to really push back up. And if you're looking at SPY, it needs to break the 257 area to push back up to 260. So we'll see what happens. Now that we're getting some volume in here, you can see the volume on this bar here, pretty decent. So volume starting to kick in. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. They went crazy yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I think they went way over the top, and I feel like it was a short squeeze too because a lot of stops were set. So you got to be very careful identifying short squeezes, and that's why I didn't want to just hop on the bull train. Sure, I did buy Boeing and stuff like that, but I didn't want to just hop on the bull train because sharp rip ups are not healthy for the market because they're met with sharp rips downs as well. However, I think this is more of like a fade instead of like a rip down. This is more of a fade. So it might just be like a very, very, very slow grind. And if you haven't noticed, they've started to price the options accordingly, to the movement. So, we're not making those 500, 1,000% gainers right now. Like if we look at SPY exiting today, I mean the puts, SPY's down 3%, but the puts are only up 50%. So they're starting to they know what they're doing. They're getting smart. So the people that were making tons of money in the early stages of the sell-off, and they're not understanding why they're not making that same money even though we're moving, it's because the option pricing has adjusted and is accounting for this movement now. And they're going to start overpricing these options so that they can start making some of their money back. Option sellers got ripped a new one last month and this month. So they're going to start. So you want to be very careful right now with the option pricing and make sure you're not getting ripped off. And if you're like right now, you wouldn't want to buy like a 200 put. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want to buy like a 200 SPY put because now the options is getting adjusted. You could buy a 200 SPY put if we rip up hard and let's say we go to 270, maybe you want to buy a 200 SPY put if you think SPY is going to go to 200. But, if you think SPY is going to go to 200 next week, chances are not good now that the option pricing has been adjusted. Even today, it's going to be plus or minus $7, and this one expires today. Monday, plus or minus $13. So it looks like they're expecting basically $7 moves daily, and we've moved $7 today. So it's within the expected move, which is why these aren't up 500% because it's within the expected move. The market was pricing this in. The market was expecting it to move down 7 or move up 7. So that's why you need to be careful, and that's why you need to learn option pricing and know how much you're going to be making based on your delta and how much you'll lose based on your delta, based on the movement for you or against you. So from what I understand, we're still waiting on the house. I don't know what time it's supposed to happen. That may just be the squeeze in the morning. Yeah, it looks like we are definitely heading lower right now. So took $50 on Disney, chopping hard nice. You think Boeing will pop? I think it will, but it's giving up some right now. We'll see what happens. It's dropped pretty hard. It's down $15, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. There was a lot of volume on the 200 calls for this week, and they're selling it off. So that's how it goes. I just got ripped a new one and I'm holding though. So yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be playing slow right now. The price action is a little bit choppy. Yes, we're leaning towards the downside, but we're going very slow. That I'm worried that any volume that kicks in, we can rip back up, as we've seen over the last 2 days, and with the Fed manipulating and pushing money into the market. So right now, probably for the first hour or something, I'm going to be an observer, see where we're going, try to get a feel of what's happening here, and then play some trades probably in an hour or 2 hours and see what we're going to do. So if you guys enjoyed the stream, hit the like button. I will be in the Discord. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.